This is a guide on how to beat the Voyage of Despair Easter egg solo on the realistic difficulty. I will assume that you already know what all the Easter egg steps are, so I will not explain everyone in detail. Before starting your game, I recommend that you beat the Voyage of Despair Easter egg on the normal difficulty so that you can get the 3 doors perk. This will make the early game setup a lot easier. This is the setup that I used for this game. The Battered Dragon Scale is a very good talisman and synergizes extremely well with the Hammer of Valhalla. On round 1 there are 13 zombies total. Knife 12 of them and save the final zombie. When you have the final zombie, go and activate the Sentinel artifacts. After doing this, activate the pedestal at the poop deck and the one in the turbine room. Craft the shield and then activate all remaining pedestals. You should also buy the Victorious Tortoise perk. Remember that you can kneel down at each perk statue to receive an extra 100 points. When all 4 pedestals are active, you should go and do the clock step. It should be really easy to do this on round 1 because the zombie is very slow. Finally, I recommend that you check all the plug sockets and note down the corresponding catalyst type that goes with it. You can now end the round. Your goal for the next couple of rounds is to get all 4 perks and to level up your specialist weapon. I recommend that you train in this area next to the shield bench as it is quite an open area. Remember that if you are using the Battered Dragon Scale, you get to keep the armour after putting the specialist weapon away. Since you activated the Sentinel artifact on round 1, then you should get your first catalyst zombie on round 5. Make sure to kill it by the correct plug socket. In theory, you should be able to get all 4 portals done by round 8, however in practice you will probably finish this at a slightly later round. While you are burning through these rounds, you should be hitting the box to get the rocket launcher, the homunculus and the kraken. When you have a Pack-a-Punch kraken, a fully upgraded rocket launcher and the homunculus, you can go and start the lockdown sequences. The plague lockdown sequence is easy. Just throw a homunculus at the front of the poop deck, kill any zombies with the kraken and kill the blight fiber with the rocket launcher. During this lockdown sequence you should try to get the plague part for the elemental upgrade which is needed for a later Easter egg step. Remember to pick up the max ammo and the Sentinel artifact once this step is completed. You should then go convert the Kraken to the Plague variant before doing the water lockdown sequence. This lockdown is also pretty easy if you use a homunculus. You should try to get the water part for the Kraken upgrade as it will be useful later. Remember that the rocket launcher is very good at killing the blight father. Now you should go and do the lightning lockdown. This one is also pretty easy as you have a lot of space to move about. You should also have one homunculus at this point, so feel free to use that if needed. Remember that if your armor breaks you can use your specialist weapon to repair it if you are using the Battered Dragon Scale talisman. Finally, you should go and do the fire lockdown. This one can be quite tricky, so I recommend that you throw a homunculus a fair distance away from you, and then spam the rocket launcher at that area. Feel free to use an equipment at this point so that you can use more homunculuses. Now you can go shoot the gas valves in the turbine room with a plague kraken to flood the area with water. Hopefully the pack-a-punch machine is there so that you can pack-a-punch the sentinel artifacts. Once that is done, go and drain the water again, convert your plague kraken to the water kraken, and interact with all the planet symbols scattered around the map. After interacting with all the symbols, go to the cargo hold and drain the water. Once the water is drained, throw a homunculus far away from you so that you can get the correct order for the planets. The safest way to do the planet step is by making sure that you have a fully charged specialist weapon before shooting down each planet. This means that if you get cornered while running for a blue orb, you can use the specialist in order to get out safely. A good way to recharge your specialist weapon is by training by the shield bench, and once you have a full horde, blow them up with the rocket launcher. Once you have shot down the sun, interact with a blue orb at the spawn to start the ice step. You should run to the left hand side and start to shoot the ice with the rocket launcher. It takes 10 shots of the rocket launcher to break the ice. After breaking the first ice block, you should immediately pull out your specialist weapon and make your way to the second ice block. When you reach the second ice block, use a slam attack to stun the zombies behind you and destroy the ice block with your hammer. When you reach the third ice block, you want to position yourself and shoot the third ice block with the rocket launcher exactly like I do. Doing this will allow you to kill both the zombies and destroy the ice block safely. After destroying the third ice block, continue to run forward while clearing the area in front of you with the rocket launcher. When you are close to the fourth ice block, throw a homunculus and start to destroy the ice block. Once you are close to the fifth ice block, throw another homunculus and destroy the ice block. This one should give you a max ammo. After picking up the max ammo, continue to clear the path in front of you with the rocket launcher. If you have your specialist up at this point, you can also use it to clear the path. When you reach the afterdecks, you should throw a homunculus behind you and position yourself where I do. You can actually shoot the final ice block at the back of the ship from this point using the rocket launcher. When you are ready, you can enter the boss fight. One thing to be aware of is that the health of the zombies becomes way higher during the boss fight. They will require multiple shots from the rocket launcher to be killed, so the first two phases are actually the hardest. The strategy for phase 1 is simple. Run around the poop deck in a loop to group up the zombies. Once they are grouped, use your specialist weapon to kill them, or if you don't have it up, use the ice kraken on them to slow them down before killing them with the rocket launcher. If any stokers spawn, you should kill them immediately with one shot of the rocket launcher. This is because their ranged attacks pose a moderate threat to your shield health. When your shield gets below 50% health, you should go and pick up the carpenter. Unfortunately in my game, the shield broke on phase 1, which meant I had to finish the boss fight with no shield. Fortunately, the battered dragon scale talisman helped a lot with keeping me alive. When a Blightfather spawns in, throw a homunculus and kill it with the rocket launcher. The Blightfather spawning in is an indicator that the phases are almost over, so once the Blightfather is dead, feel free to throw another homunculus and try to end the phase quickly. After the end of each phase, remember to pick up the drops that spawn. Phase 2 is the hardest phase of the boss fight. When you spawn in, you will want to wait a little bit until the zombies spawn in before throwing a homunculus at this location. This should group up the zombies tightly since the homunculus basically does 0 damage at this point. Once the homunculus expires, you will want to run around the edge of the room while killing a few zombies at a time at a choke point of your preference. If you want to speed up this phase a little bit, then feel free to use your specialist weapon, but make sure to put it away once it reaches 50% so that it's easier to recharge. When a Blightfather spawns in, throw a homunculus and kill it with your rocket launcher. The phase will end shortly after killing the second Blightfather that spawns. If a zombie blocks your path while you're running in a loop, you can use the ice kraken to move past it. For phase 3 you will want to stand where I am standing, wait a little bit for the zombies to spawn in before throwing a homunculus down the corridor. When the boss is doing the I-beam attack, you will want to hit it with a rocket launcher. Make sure that there is always a homunculus on the ground. Once you have thrown the second homunculus, you will want to use refreshment so you can gain 2 more homunculuses. This should be enough to get you to the end of the phase. For phase 4 you will want to stand where I am standing. I recommend that you keep the door behind you closed as it makes this phase a little bit easier. Wait a little bit before throwing a homunculus away from you. When the boss does the I-beam attack, shoot at it with the rocket launcher. When your homunculus runs out, throw another one. This should give you enough time to complete Phase 4, but if your second homunculus runs out, then you can control the Horde with the Ice Kraken. Phase 5 is actually the easiest one of them all. Since you still have an equipment, a max ammo elixir, and the max ammo in the arena, then that gives you 8 homunculuses total, which effectively allows you to have 100% uptime for the entire phase. Make sure to always stand where I am standing, because that guarantees that the boss will always do the laser attack in the same spot, which speeds up the phase. When the boss makes a loud noise and starts to charge up, it is very important that you damage it in time. If you want to delay throwing a homunculus, then you can always crowd control the Horde using the Ice Kraken. I hope that you found my guide to be useful. Thank you for watching and goodbye.